Welcome to NFL World, where the NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And there's one day until the NFL regular season begins between the Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. To begin, we'll talk Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce suffered an injury yesterday in practice. And the injury he sustained was a knee injury, which anytime you have a knee injury, that changes how you operate. Now, it does question what exactly did he injure. Andy Reid said it was a hyperextension. Hang on a second. Okay, there we go. Andy Reid said it was a hyperextension, and that sounds about right. Now the question is it just a hyperextension, or is it something else? The thing about extensions is it could affect something else. Bone bruise. You might nick off meniscus. So there's always a thing that you never exactly know. Now, Kelce's availability for week 1 is in doubt. The Chiefs have said it doesn't seem to be have a chance, that it's only a minor issue. But as NFL media's Ian Rappaport has stated, he's called the injury a bone bruise. So that's all dependent on anything. However, Jason Kelce, the brother of Travis Kelce, also they do a podcast together, says that he has a chance to go week 1 and all that stuff. He went on WIP, his morning show on Philadelphia on Wednesday morning, revealed after talking with Travis yesterday, he believes that his brother has a chance to play Thursday night, what he called a bone bruise. Now, there is no real knowledge of what could be, like, no one knows. The swelling will have to go down. That could take a day. That could take a couple days before we can even tell what it is. Kelce is 33, hasn't missed an injury or hasn't missed a game since his rookie year, which was in 2013. The 33-year-old has led the Kansas City Chiefs in receiving 3 of the last 4 years. And it's an unproven receiving core. There's a lot of guys that haven't been there. So asking them to play at a very high level against a good Detroit Lions team, it's gonna be hard to see. It's gonna be hard for them to be that dynamic, but it does also show. This will show how much Mahomes can really go to another level if he can show that these other wide receivers can. It won't be a problem for him to get these guys to help him win the game. Next up, we continue with the Chiefs. Chris Jones is still holding out. Chris Jones tweeted a couple weeks ago. Fan tweeted him wondering, when are you going to come back? And he said week 8. Week 8. Now, the way the rules are constructed, week 8, due to the fact that he's in his last year, would allow him to still be a free agent at the end. If he was to surpass that, the year would become null and void, and he wouldn't be able to play this year. Meaning he would have there would be this whole 'nother issue on top of what there already is. Now, apparently, same thing goes for the Nick Bosa situation that we're about to talk about. There's a misconception that Jones wants to be the highest paid defensive lineman. That's not, and same goes for Bosa. Those are both not the same instance. For Bosa, the case is he wants to be paid, I think it was to 28 million, which is the same thing about Chris Jones, not Aaron Donald 31. And apparently both the 49ers and the Chiefs said, no, we'll pay you 24, 26. Which brings me to this part of the issue. Are both teams really going to fight on the fact of $2 million, $2 to $4 million? I understand it's per year. It's not guaranteed money, it's per year. But are you willing to risk not having your best defensive player on the field because of a $2 or $4 million gap? And on the same side, or on the flip side, if you're the cheap, if you're Chris Jones or Nick Bosa, are you really going to not play because of $2 or $4 million? It's just interesting. It's just you can look at it as it's selfish, and you can look at it as the team is being selfish. But if Bosa doesn't play, and he doesn't play until week 8, some teams can get a drop on you. Same thing goes for the Chiefs. Some teams can get a drop on you, and that's not good. I think I saw a stat that said the Chiefs with Chris Jones, they were like the 6th best defensive pass rushing percentage, with a pass rush percentage and stuff like that in terms of success rate. Without him, they're like 28th. So that just shows if he's not on the field, not a great pass rushing team. When he is there, they go like almost possessed. Next up, the Raiders restructured Jimmy Garoppolo's contract. That clears up $17 million. Garoppolo signed a 3-year deal, $67.5 million in March. This is a good job by the Raiders. Make some money. Try try and spend it in different places and get better at different positions. Also, if something does happen, you have a little money left over, so you can pay someone to come in. Next up, the Patriots. John Jack Jones, excuse me. Jack Jones has his weapons charge dropped after moving a court date and agreeing to a deal. The deal states that Jones will have 1 year probation and 48 hours 8 hours of community service. This you kind of figured this could happen because this happens to almost every athlete that they get a plea deal where they do a couple years of probation and a couple hours of community service, and then that's it. This happens to every athlete, not just football players, but every athlete. If you're known, it happens to every athlete. So it's not a shock in any way. Next up, let me see if I can find it. Okay, I think I found it. Yeah, it's right here. So Aaron Rodgers, let's talk Hard Knocks. I this was the final of Hard Knocks, and it wasn't bad. It was not bad, but I was a little underwhelmed by this Hard Knocks. I didn't like it too much. There was a couple episodes that were pretty good, but this last episode was just weird. Like, they go on and they talk about, okay, it's cut day. The day already sucks. It's terrible. You're cutting people that you've known for 6 months, that you've been around every day for 6 months, and Roger and so they had Aaron Rodgers talk. They had Randall Cobb talk throughout the stuff. But and I did like what they allowed the 2 undrafted wide receivers to come in, and you all thought that they were gonna get cut, but they ended up making the team. I did like that. But when the other cuts came, they didn't talk about 'em. They just kinda let them walk down the hall and then out the door we go. But one of the things I hated was didn't talk to, Breece Hall much. I wanted them to talk more to him, they didn't. Maybe that's because the Jets said no. Didn't talk to Dalvin Cook much, maybe that's because the Jets said no. But we had Allen Lazard talk, that's the first time I think we've heard him talk in, like, 3 weeks. They had, who else did they have? They didn't have any of the offensive linemen or tight ends talk the whole series, pretty much. I think CJ Uzomah said, like, 3 lines the whole series, and that was it. And most of it was all in the final episode when they were at the Broadway play. Um, they didn't talk to the offensive line or the linebackers at all. I wish they would've. Besides Sauce Gardner, they didn't talk to anyone on the really the defensive backside. And again, maybe that's the Jets saying, "No, you can't talk to those guys. You can talk to this person, this person, and that's it." Maybe that's what it was. But it felt like there was a lot of there was a lot of there was a lot more you could have done with it, and you chose not to do anything with it. So, in a ranking of a Hard Knock, if this was to save Hard Knocks, like Hard Knocks was on life support and we needed one good year of Hard Knocks so it wouldn't be on life support anymore, this would not have saved it. That's my opinion. You can share your opinion in the comments, but I believe this was definitely not the best Hard Knocks. It I think it wasn't even as good as the Detroit Lions Hard Knocks last year, as much as people in the media will try and say this was a good Hard Knocks. The one thing it was fascinating to listen Aaron Rodgers talk about UFOs, but, like, that was it. There was nothing going on. Nothing really happened. It was like, "Oh my gosh, we have another one to do with these. I guess we can fill some stuff, but we don't know what we're doing, and we really don't wanna do anything." That's it just felt like, "We have another one? Fine, we'll do it." That's what it felt like the whole time. It was just terrible. Moving on, Terry McLaurin has been making progress in his injury recovery. McLaurin earlier in camp suffered a turf toe, was figured out to be minor, but turf toe can be lingering and it's annoying to it's hard to run, it's hard to walk, it's hard to do anything. You're seeing the problems that Deion Sanders has been going through the last couple years about blood clots and having 2 of his toes removed because of turf toe. So it's not as simple as just saying it's just turfed up. It's minor. It's not that. Because we're seeing what's happening with Deion Sanders and how he had to have 2 toes removed because of it. And finally, our game previews for week 1. Now, I will do similar to last year. I'm gonna actually have to hang on. Let me get like a piece of paper. Hang on a sec. Here we go. All right. So I probably should put this in the description, but whatever. I'll do it next week. So there will be teams that I'll be looking out for and keeping a close eye on the whole year. Those teams will be Lions, the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Bills, the Jets, and the Patriots. Okay? And every week I will do a game. Not that this game particularly interests me, but more of I believe this team could be really good, or they could be a tiebreaker here, and they could get the drop on them early, and we'll get to that one near the end. So the first one we have is the first game of the year, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Lions. The Detroit Lions visit the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 4.5. I don't think it will be 4.5. If once Travis Kelce's if as soon as we know about Travis Kelce, this goes down. This may go down 2 points, 3 points, and now it's a toss-up pretty much. I'm intrigued to see what the Lions look like. I can't wait to see what Jahmyr Gibbs can do. They actually have the over of 52.5. I think that will go down. I'm intrigued to see what this Chiefs offense looks like without Kelce, and I'm intrigued to see what this Chiefs defense looks like. Because this is gonna be an interesting thing. I'm If I was anyone, I'd choose the under for this game, under 52.5, and I'm gonna pick the Chiefs to win, but the Lions are gonna keep this close, and everyone's gonna talk about the Lions after this game. So it's saying that the Chiefs will win 28 to the Lions 24, because it will be a sloppy game, no defense will really be played, so that's what I predict. Next up, we have Eagles versus Patriots. We got a Super Bowl rematch from 2018. They Patriots are getting +4. I can't wait to see what this Patriots offense looks like with Bill O'Brien at the helm as the offensive coordinator. I want to see Mac Jones bounce back. I'm also like this. No one has talked about this about the Eagles in the media. No one has talked about how the Eagles lost both defensive or both coordinators and 8 players that were either rotation guys or starters. Again, this will be an under, as of every game probably week 1 will be an under. The under is 45. I predict that the Eagles win this game, but it will be a close game, 21-17. Next up, we have Cowboys on the road versus Giants. Plus 3.5 for the Giants. This would have probably be a -6 if it was in Dallas or in Arlington, I should say. Again, under. It's 46.5, but under. It's gonna be a sloppy game. Cowboys win this game. Cowboys are also 10-0 in the last 10 meetings against the Giants when Dak Prescott's been the quarterback. I believe that will continue. The Cowboys will win. Sloppy game, 24-17. Hang on, wait. Yeah, 24-17. Actually, wait, no, that's gonna be over. Yeah, it's over. It would have been under. It was under when the game came out. It was gonna say closer to 50. It's 46.5 now. So yeah, it's over. Next up, this is a game that we're just gonna do because I think this game is very interesting. It's Dolphins and Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 3. An under game. The over-under is 51. I'm going under. This, I believe, is the first time that Tua and Herbert have faced each other. I can't wait to see what Vic Fangio does with this defense for the Miami Dolphins. I also can't wait to see what Kellen Moore does with the Chargers. But I think the Dolphins win this game. And they win it. A very similar score, 20-17. Next up, and this is the game you won't pay attention, but if they get a drop on you, you will. It's the 49ers and Steelers. This is Brock Purdy's first game. The Steelers are getting +2. I'd pick the over on that one if I was anyone else. Um, the over/under is 41. I'd pick the over in that situation. I think the Steelers are gonna be really good. Personally, I think they're gonna be really good. I wanna see what this Niners defense looks like if Nick Bosa's not there. There's still time. But I think Steelers get this win. And it will be grimy. It won't be high scoring. It won't be pleasant. None of these games are gonna be very exciting. You're at this point, you just started the year. None of these games are exciting. Steelers win 20-17. And finally, Bills vs. Jets. Monday Night Football. The Jets are getting 2.5 with an over-under of 46.5. This game, I'm going to take the over. And let me explain why. Von Miller is not playing in this game. The Jets, Quinn Williams is playing in this game. But I'm waiting to see what this Bills secondary looks like. I said this when DeMar Hamlin came back. As soon as he steps on the field, he wins comeback player of the year. There's no chance, nothing. No. You could have came back from 2 Achilles tears. You could have torn your Achilles twice in 2 different places on both feet. It would not have mattered. DeMar Hamlin, as soon as he walks on that field, wins comeback player of the year. There's no chance. You have no chance. You could go with what Deion Sanders went through, and it won't matter. It won't matter. It's just not going to be close. And I'm waiting to see what the Bills do. Having said that, I think the question is, what do the Jets look like on offense? Their offensive line is going to get battle tested right away. You play the Jets. If you're the Jets, you play the Bills, and then you play the Cowboys. 2 tough games. So I'm gonna say the Bills win. Close game. They win 28-24. Now, I would next week I will put this all in the description. But why don't you guys comment and say, well, who's gonna win these games? And if I'm even on the right track. Now you can put your score predictions in the comments, or just say, no, this team's gonna win instead of that team. But also, why don't you choose if the scores are gonna be over more game how many games are gonna have the overs or the unders in week 1? But for NFL World, I'm Jacob Hebert. Out.